Hey guys, some of my subscribers have asked me to write a simple video tutorial on how to grab your external global IP address. So there's really only one thing you can do about this. To be able to grab your external global IP, your WAN IP address, you have to reach out generally to third-party services or web services to be able to actually pull that information. So I'm going to show you guys how quickly this can be done using Delphi. Here, let's go ahead and make a small little form here. And let's see about maybe adding some buttons. We're going to need a web requester. So this is a net HTTP client. You can find it on the net tab. So go ahead and grab you one of those and throw it down on the form. And let's go ahead and get a button. So here, I'm going to grab a quick button there. We need us a label. So let's grab a label, and let's also grab an edit. So we're going to have all four of these components, right? And we're going to start designing right now. So clear that up, pull this here, pull this. Let's go ahead and make that IP address. And let's pull this out like that. Pull this over here like so. Pull that over, pull this up, pull the button over here. We'll try to make the button kind of big. And then we'll just pull it over like that, okay? The button's caption will be get my IP address, something like that. We're going to give it a theme just because I don't like looking at basic garbage. So let's go to appearance and make this modern dark for Windows 11, I guess. And then there you have it. So that's that. Then this caption of the form can be IP address lookup. So at this point, we need to click the button, make the web requester, go out to a website, pull the HTML from the request, from the GET request, or from the HTTP request, and then pull it back, parse through it, and show our IP address right here in the edit box, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So essentially on the button click, we're going to make a few variables. First of all, response is going to be HTTP response. We're going to have HTML that's going to be returned to us, which is a string. We're also going to need our IP address, which is also of type string. Now that we have all that, we're going to say screen.cursor is going to be equal to cursor hourglass. This just shows the user, ourselves, that something is loading in the background, okay? Now we're going to do a try statement. And at the very bottom of this, we need to make sure that we fill in our code. So when we're trying something here, at the end, we're actually going to set our button and our cursor back to default. So we're going to say self.button1.caption will be equivalent to get my IP address. Something like that, just like we did here, get my IP address. And then we want to set our cursor back to normal because all of our operations are complete. Screen.cursor is going to be equivalent to the default cursor. So cursor default. Okay, now we can go through here and start programming. So right here, I want to say self.edit1.clear because remember, if the more times we click the button, we need to make sure that our previous results are cleared out. Okay, you understand? So we're going to clear out our previous results. If there are any, and then we're going to say self.edit button1.caption is going to be equivalent to we'll just put retrieving, and if I misspelled that, I'm sorry guys, I am not able to type today. So there we go, that's retrieving, so at least we know something else is also happening. I don't know how this socket's going to react, so I'm going to put an applications.processMessages. Very bad idea, boys, especially if used incorrectly. This thing right here is more of a curse than it's worth, to be honest with you. But we're going to use it because, I mean, for fuck's sake, we're only doing one request. It's not going to kill us, right? So just to be sure everything's processed, that's great. We're also going to come down and go into a nested try statement because we're going to try doing some other stuff here. So let's create a new instance, a new clean instance of the HTTP client request component. So for here, we'll do free and nil net HTTP client 1, and then we're going to say net HTTP client 1 is going to be coming equivalent to a tnet HTTP client.create. Owner is going to be self, which is this form, okay? I'm just basically creating a whole clean different one of these in memory instead of using this one that's on the form, okay? Because we don't have any idea. I don't really mess with these components very often, so I don't know how they're going to react. So what I'm going to do is just basically destroy this and recreate it in memory. So it's a fresh new component to play with, okay? Each time we press the button, it creates a new fresh one and clears out the old, okay? So now that we have that, I'm going to come down and set up we need to set up our timeouts and protocols. So we'll just do net HTTP client 1 dot connection timeout is going to be 10 seconds for HTTP timeouts. We're also going to go net HTTP client 1 dot response timeout is also going to be the same 10 seconds as that. Then net HTTP client 1 dot, and this is going to be secure protocols. We're going to try to make this work with just HTTP, but we might try later. I'll show you guys what we're going to do with this later, but we're going to try to make it work with both SSL, so HTTPS, as well as HTTP. Okay, so for this, we have to put in, I think, a bracket, THTTP secure protocol version 12, TLS. They've got it right here. So it's right there. And then we also want to do 13 just in case. So let me just copy this because I think it's the same freaking thing, except put a 13 there and then close that bracket. Now, hopefully it doesn't turn red. Yeah, it looks good to me. Great. Awesome. So then what we can do with this is set up our fake user agent to visit the site with. Let's just pretend to be Mozilla Firefox. So net HTTP 1, here, let me, net HTTP client 1.user agent is equal to Mozilla 5.0. That's going to be our user agent. And now we can come on down and do another try statement. So for this, let's try to think here real quick, guys. I've set up our new client. I've set up our new timeouts on our secure protocol. We've got our Mozilla user agent. Now we're ready to make the actual call. So I think personally, what we could do for this right here, by the way, for this, so I don't forget later, I'm trying to think ahead, guys. If there's a problem with this, we really want this to be like an accept, if you will, instead of a finally. So let's do an accept here and do on E exception. We will do like, we'll just do self.edit1.text equals error and e.message, so we can see the error itself. That'll be that. So, and we can get rid of this. So that'll be fine. Now we can go here and do another try statement. So we're going to try to encapsulate an HTTP GET request, if you will. Okay. So our response, which is of type IHTTP response type. So we're setting the response equivalent to trying to get that website. Net HTTP client 1.get. And then the URL in here is going to be http ifconfig.me. And that is that, boys and girls. So we've got that. Now we can get the HTML. So the HTML is going to be equivalent to response the response's content as string. Okay? And that is pretty much it. Now we need to get the IP address. So we're going to say IP address, and we're going to do this. For now, we're going to leave it hard-coded as nothing, because we're going to have to write another procedure probably to like parse that. So let me just try to get this through my thick skull here real quick, boys. So we'll do that later. But for now, we also want to write except on E exception do begin. Let's just put do IP address equals nil, nothing. Okay, end. Now we can display our result. Here, let me take this out. So let's display our result. If the IP address is not nothing, which means we did achieve something, self.edit1.text can become equivalent to the IP address. Okay? Else, we're going to say edit1.text is going to be equivalent to failed to get IP address. Something like that. Okay? Then we can come on down. Here, let's do Control D here real fast, boys. So now we can come on down and do, that's pretty much it actually now that I think about it. I think that will do. Let's go ahead and see what we can do. I think that looks good to me. We'll try this and see. It should work. All right, guys. So yeah, just don't forget to erase this at the end because you can't have that there for an else. Okay, I think this code is great. Let's go ahead and, before I forget, let's go ahead and edit this portion where we do the IP address is equal to a hard-coded value of nothing. We're going to change this part because we're going to have to, in this particular case, we're going to this website, we're pulling the HTML, and then we have to parse it. So we're going to have to parse the IP address out of the HTML. So I can't just say IP address : equals response.content blah, blah, blah. It won't work. We're going to have to take the content. We're going to have to take the HTML, parse through it, grab the IP address out of it, and apply it to this. So in order to do that, we're going to have to make another procedure and call it. So for this portion, let's go ahead and just say extract IP address from the HTML. That's going to be the name of our procedure, right? And we're going to do that by pushing the HTML to that procedure that we haven't created yet. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to the top of our code, and let's add this. Let's add this to the top. Okay. So what we'll do, it's going to be a function. I said procedure. I didn't mean that. This is going to be a function. Okay, it's going to return something. So up here, what we're going to do in private declarations is create that function. That function is going to be called extract IP address from HTML with a constant HTML as a string, and we're going to return a string type. Okay. Now for this, guys, if you don't want to have to sit here and program all this crap, like copy this and copy it down below, just put your mouse cursor in here, go Control-Shift-C, and it will create it for you automatically. Now we're ready to roll. So let's go ahead and create a couple of different variables here. We're going to have a start string and an end string. Both are of type string. Then we're going to have a start position and an end position of type integer. Okay, so now we're going to set result equal to nothing. So we're not going to start out with anything, right? Now we're going to extract the strong ID of the IP address from the HTML elements. Now guys, let me show you what we're doing, okay? Before I program any more, let's go ahead and pop this up. So this right here is the website that we're going to be visiting, ifconfig.me. This is where your IP address is going to show, okay? Now, if you notice, I've right-clicked on this and gone to inspect element, right? And as you can see, there's a strong ID here with IP address inside of it. So you see that strong ID, IP address. This is a strong ID is IP address. See, it's a strong because it's big and, you know, it looks like it's big and bold and all that shit. So this is what we're trying to get from the website page. So all we have to do is loop through the HTML, parse it out, and grab just this part, which is your IP will show here, or your actual IP address in your all's case, right? So I hope you kind of get where I'm going with this. So let me go back to the code. So now we begin. This is going to be super, super easy, guys. Super, super easy, okay? So we're going to say that the start string, okay, is going to be equivalent to, remember how we did that in the HTML? We had strong ID was equal to IP underscore address, like that. And then we had one of these and one of those. The end string was equivalent to, and I believe if we go back there, it was ending in strong. So this right here, guys, the / strong end. So it's the ending tag for strong, okay? So let's pop this back in here. We'll say it's equivalent to, and then we're going to do like this, strong. So it's the ending of the strong tag. And that's that. So now we can say that start position is equivalent to position, start str, HTML. And then we're going to set up if the start position is obviously greater than 0, then begin doing something. We're going to say that we need to go ahead and say start position is equivalent to the start position plus the length of the start string. End position is going to be equal to the position of, and we're going to put the end string, right? HTML start position. Now, if the end position is greater than the start position, then we will be able to say that the result is equivalent to trim, because we don't want any white blank spaces. We're going to copy the IP address out. We're going to copy from the HTML the start position to the end position minus the start position. And that's it. Guys, that is it. That's all the code you need. That should grab the IP address directly from this. Now, that's supposing that this HTML is proper and correct, and it should be on this website from what I'm seeing. So we will go ahead and give this bad boy a shot. So let's go ahead and run the program just to see what's going to happen. Okay, so here's my program. Here, let me start this in position mode. Let's go to position and put this in the screen center. That way when I run the program, you guys don't have to watch me do a bunch of garbage. Okay, so there. So I'm going to get my IP address, and it will show my IP, so I'll blotch it out so you guys can't really see my global, but I will go ahead and hit this. And as you can clearly see, it did work. So yeah, it did work, boys. So that's great, fantastic. And guys, that's it. That's how you do it. That's how you grab your IP address from an online source. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be making plenty more in the near future. And this, by the way, just so you guys know, all this programming and all this HTML crap and all this could have been done in 3 lines of code if you have premium components. But this is how you would do it if you didn't have premium components and you were just using the basic, you know, TNet HTTP client or whatever. There's so many different thousands, hundreds of thousands of ways you could actually accomplish this. You could use Windows API sockets. For sockets, you could use Indy, you could use Clever Internet Suite, you could use Netcom probably even. I mean, there's like so many millions of ways you could do this, but this particular one is just easy to work with. You drag and drop, and you tell it what to do with very minimal effort. However, I would like to see real quick with you guys on the line here if the HTTPS secure layer would work, since we did actually add in the secure protocols. So let's find out if that works. I'll run the program and we'll give it a run. Oh, it works. Fantastic. So yeah, this example is beautiful. It works with both HTTP and HTTPS protocols. So this component is actually pretty nice. I think I see myself using this one a lot more in the future, believe it or not, just because it handles both HTTP and HTTPS without any needed changes, really. That's fantastic. All right, guys, I hope you enjoy the video. If you guys request more on my videos, like just comment whatever you need, I'll be happy to do plenty more stuff for you. In the meantime, those of you who are taking the RAT course, you could take this example and actually import this code into your version of the RAT that we're creating in the RAT course. So it's just a couple of different things. It's just one button click procedure and one extract IP address from HTML function. And that's it. That's pretty much it, boys. So, all right. I will catch you guys in the next video. Until next time, stay frosty, keep programming, and peace out.